You guys, Jump Festa is the gift that keeps on giving. So, a while back, I think like 12 hours ago, I made a video talking about all the latest news that Oda dropped on us via his message. And if you haven't seen that yet, you don't have to go back and watch the previous video because I'm just going to explain it real quick right here. But there is a One Piece movie in the works, unannounced, no name yet. Oda said that the production is going very slowly and badly. Not really too sure what that means necessarily, but there is a One Piece movie on the horizon. Next up is that Oda said that we are about to finish Elbaf relatively soon, and here in 2026 we will meet the man marked by flames, hopefully. And after that, we are going to go to the island that only the Pirate King has actually reached. Is it Lodestar? Is it Laughtail? That is up for you guys to decide. And then, last but not least, he said multiple characters would meet, and of course, One Piece will be speeding up and going at a breakneck pace, because Oda is getting really, really old. So aside from all of that big info, we did get a couple of smaller things on the side that I didn't add into that video simply because I forgot. So we're going to tackle it here because I think this is worth its own video in its own way. So, as you can tell by this thumbnail, yes, it's a little bit clickbaity, but we potentially did get a design or concept of Imu. We're going to be going through concept designs that Oda has dropped, and while going through these, it is always good to take them with a massive spoonful of salt, because concept arts can vary drastically from the final product. We've seen that multiple times, and hell, we'll even share an example here while we're at it. So, first up, we're going to use Sandman's translation because Sandman is a very trusted source, but the first thing I want to show off is the Imu design, mainly because that is the thumbnail of this video, like I said. So here we have it. Sandman says the following two are male sketches by Oda, and they seem to depict the true face of Imu. Fire emoji, which I do agree. These are pretty decent designs. And the reason he believes that these are Imu concept designs is because of the text that accompanies these images. The text says, "The crime of the young queen who unleashed the poneglyphs upon the world. On that day, she betrayed us," referring to Nefertari Lily. "Alabasta's sin was allowing words to be left for the future." And these are the words that Imu told King Cobra while Sabo was in the room eavesdropping. So yes, Oda dropped two sketches of a character we have never seen before, and these words are coming out of that character. So does that mean that these two images right here are potentially what Imu will look like when we see their true face? One big thing that people have been bringing up is like, oh, like at God Valley, why didn't we see Imu's true face? While Rox was in the flower room, why didn't he see Imu's true face? Well, Imu is somewhat of a magician, right? They're somewhat of a devil. I wouldn't be shocked if they're like Father from Codename Kids Next Door, where they can turn into this black and shadowy monster, but when they want to, they can reveal their true face underneath. Or perhaps they even had this face during the Void Century, and yeah, over time, they just turned into that blackened monster. There's a lot of ways Oda can play around with this, but I do think that these two images are pretty cool. The nose is very much so giving off Enel vibes. It's broad, it has those lines. And then as far as the second image goes, it just looks like a wizard, which, you know, Imu does have like a grimoire. They are using demonic contracts, so I think these designs fit pretty damn well. And I'm excited, brother. I am excited to see what Imu actually ends up looking like, because I do not think, one, that they have no face, and two, I do err towards them being a male. I know that's a big topic in the community. Oh, is Imu a male? Is it a female? Is it a male possessing a female? There's a lot of theories out there, but the one concrete thing we do have as far as Imu's gender would simply be Ivankov's statement saying, yes, Saint Imu Nerona from the Void Century, that was a name that existed. And when they dropped that, they did drop the male honorific with it. So at least in the Void Century, Imu was a guy. So this could be it right here. This could be their OG design. But like I said, gotta take this with a grain of salt, because concept arts can vary drastically from the final product. And that brings us to the next concept art we have to talk about. But good old the Garling. That is right. We got the early sketches as to what he could have looked like. And let me tell you, I am so glad Oda did not go with any of those. I am glad Garling looks how he does today. Because, brother, these are, They're kind of cursed. So, according to Oda's idea book, there were several candidate names for Garling even. The first one was Garland, which I really enjoy. You know, as a Final Fantasy player, Garland just has aura to it. Next up was Gastra, which Gastra is quite a name. It just sounds like a female supervillain that uses gas powers. I don't know. It's like Marvel DC coded. Then there was Denham, H. Beth, and Surridge. Brother, Garling and Garland were the best names. The others, I just have no clue where Oda was going with them. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody goes through these names and like, oh yeah, Denham, that makes sense because Garling's haircut or something, right? I'm sure they do have lore implications for every single one of them, but let's be real, Garland were giant W's there. Like, I genuinely can't imagine looking at Garling and saying, oh yes, there's Saint H. Beth. Oh, Shanks' dad, Denham. It's like, okay, I don't know about that. Maybe that's just because we've had Garling for quite some time, so it's just stuck at that point. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. If you were Oda, which name would you have picked out of this lineup? So now, onto Garling's concept art. We got some pretty cool stuff here. And like I said, I don't exactly vibe with many of them. The one on the far left, that is Shamrock. And Shamrock looks pretty one-to-one in my opinion. Looks like he kind of redesigned the face a little bit. But yeah, Shamrock looks fine. Garling, you can see the one on the top right over here. Kind of looks like Copacabana a little bit. And then you have just like an old man, classic guy. And then this other one, I have no idea what's going on with this guy. Oda said, hey, what if Garling was balding, but also had spiky hair? Like I said, I am really glad we got the Garling we got today, man. I truly, truly am. I love Garling. So, on to the next bit of information. But Oda actually did a rough sketch of the Holy Land. That is right. He did a full view of Marijoa. And this is early concept art, keep in mind. But we got Pangaea Castle in the middle. And then it seems like we have a river and a bridge. And then we had the city of celestial dragons. You know, we knew that these two things already existed, but we didn't really know the layout. Like, for example, we didn't know about the bridge and the whole river thing, right? That's brand new. And not just that, but in the very back, off to the side, there is a unique area we've never heard of before called the Red Desert. The fact that there's a desert up there does make a lot of sense because the red line is very tall, it is mountainous, and it just makes sense that the Celestial Dragons didn't have a chance to build on all of the red line, so there's gotta be some deserty areas. So yes, we got the Red Desert in the back. One key thing though, is that we do not see Shangara in this conceptual artwork, which is a brand new location in the Holy Land. So it makes you wonder when he drew this. And Shangara, for you guys who, you know, might not remember, but Shangara is where the Holy Knights actually abode. That is where they live, apparently. So maybe that is the area off to the left of Pangaea Castle, because we do see like this almost like courtyard looking thing back there. So maybe Shangara is just further back and Oda didn't draw it in yet. But yes, pretty cool stuff there. So now moving on to the next piece of concept art, we got the early Gear 4th Snake Man designs. And I'd say you can see exactly where Oda's going here, right? He wanted to bring Luffy back down to normal size. He wanted to give him the smoke cloud still. And he wanted to go back to like the spiky black hair. Snake Man, if I recall correctly, didn't exactly have the spiky hair we see on the side. You know, the spiky hair here, it kind of reminds me of like Super Saiyan 3. But yeah, Oda didn't go with that hedgehog design. Instead, he went with the curly-ish Snake Man hair we have today. And on the bottom left, you can see that Oda was already somewhat workshopping ideas of Gear 5th, right? You see the fiery hair more. You see like the smile. You see the eyebrows. The crazy big body shape and the skinny arms. So it's like, yeah, somewhere along the process of making Gear 4th, Oda said, you know what? These are some good Gear 5th ideas. So I think that's pretty fun. But yeah, that is it for today, guys. Let me know what you think about all this information down below. Do you think that Imu is going to be male? What do you think about the concept designs? What do you think about Garling? How do you feel about the Red Desert? And so much more. Let me know all your thoughts down there, brothers. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, stay safe, and Merry Christmas if we don't come back soon.